Welcome to our deep dive into L-theanine, a tea-derived amino acid that's popping up in pre-workout formulas. You may have seen calm energy or smooth focus on labels and wondered if that means your favorite stack will suddenly make you drowsy. In this presentation, I'll unpack the science behind L-theanine to see how it affects your brain and body. We'll explore whether it neutralizes the stimulants you rely on or actually enhances your ability to focus without jitters. By the end, you'll understand where this ingredient fits in your routine and how to dose it for maximum benefit. First, let's acknowledge those nagging questions you may have about whether L-theanine is helping or hurting your training intensity. Have you ever wondered if adding L-theanine to your pre-workout is secretly undermining your progress? The marketing claims are enticing. Calm energy, smoother focus. But some lifters worry that calm might turn into lethargy. Could this amino acid cancel out the stimulants you use to fire up your sessions? Does it turn sharp focus into sleepy complacency? In this segment, we'll pose these questions and consider the fears that L-theanine might blunt your intensity or negate caffeine's kick. Don't worry, we're not settling for hearsay. We'll answer these concerns with evidence and clear explanations. To make sense of the hype, let's see what we'll cover in today's session. Before diving into the science, here's the plan for our discussion. First, I'll explain exactly what L-theanine is and how it crosses into your brain. We'll then look at the brain chemistry involved, focusing on alpha brainwaves and how they create a sense of calm without sedation. Next, we'll distinguish calm focus from sleepiness, reviewing EEG data and cognitive studies. We'll examine research on L-theanine by itself and in combination with caffeine to see how they affect reaction time and cognitive performance. From there, we'll talk about gym implications, dosing strategies, who benefits, and who should be cautious. Finally, we'll bust some myths and wrap up with key takeaways you can apply. With that roadmap, let's get into what L-theanine actually is. L-theanine is a non-protein amino acid found naturally in tea leaves, especially Camellia sinensis. It stands out because it can cross the blood-brain barrier via a transport system that normally favors leucine. Once inside your brain, L-theanine modulates neurotransmitters by increasing dopamine and serotonin levels, chemicals linked to motivation and mood. It also stimulates the production of alpha brainwaves, those rhythmic pulses between 8 and 12 Hz that signify relaxed yet alert mental states. This combination of increased feel-good neurotransmitters and alpha activity explains why a cup of tea can make you feel calm but still attentive. Understanding these mechanisms sets the stage for exploring how L-theanine influences your training. Now let's delve deeper into brain chemistry and those fascinating alpha waves. When L-theanine crosses the blood-brain barrier, it exerts a unique influence on your neural rhythms. Alpha brainwaves, oscillating at 8 to 12 Hz, mark a relaxed but attentive state. Think meditation or a calm drive. Studies show that L-theanine boosts alpha power across the scalp without suppressing beta waves, which are associated with active thinking. This means you feel more centered without losing mental sharpness. At the same time, elevated dopamine and serotonin help balance excitatory and inhibitory signals, promoting a relaxed mind ready to focus. These effects combine to create what many describe as calm focus. To see how this differs from genuine sleepiness, let's compare calm alertness to drowsiness and see why they're often confused. One of the biggest misconceptions about L-theanine is that it makes you sleepy. In reality, the relaxation it induces is not the same as sedation. Electroencephalogram studies show that L-theanine increases alpha waves associated with calm focus without raising delta or theta waves, which signify deep sleep or drowsiness. It also doesn't suppress beta waves, so your alertness remains intact. On a physiological level, heart rate and cortisol remain stable, unlike the drop you see with sedatives such as benzodiazepines or melatonin. This is why you can feel relaxed and attentive rather than sluggish. Understanding this distinction is essential as we look at the evidence for L-theanine's solo effects. So let's dive into what happens when you take it by itself. When taken alone, L-theanine exhibits measurable effects. A single 200 mg dose has been shown to increase alpha power across frontal and whole scalp regions compared with a placebo. It also lowers salivary cortisol roughly an hour after ingestion, indicating reduced stress levels. Participants report feeling calmer without noticeable side effects. However, more isn't always better. At 250 mg, some studies note a slowing of reaction time, suggesting excessive amounts may blunt your performance. The takeaway is that moderate doses can relax you without harming alertness, but high doses might dampen responsiveness. These findings set us up to examine what happens when L-theanine is paired with caffeine, often a component of pre-workout supplements. The magic often happens when L-theanine and caffeine work together. Multiple studies show that this combo improves speed, accuracy, and memory more than either substance alone. Sleep-deprived adults taking 200 milligrams of theanine with 160 milligrams of caffeine showed higher hit rates and faster reaction times than those taking caffeine alone. Even lower doses, 50 to 100 milligrams of theanine with 40 to 75 milligrams of caffeine, enhance attention switching and semantic memory. Beyond cognitive gains, theanine softens caffeine's rough edges. It attenuates rises in blood pressure, reduces jitteriness, and smooths the energy curve, meaning less of a crash later on. Knowing this synergy helps us understand performance metrics, which we'll examine next. When it comes to performance, the L-theanine and caffeine combo shines. In sleep-deprived adults, the blend significantly improves selective attention and the ability to discriminate between targets and distractions. Reaction time improved by an extra 38 milliseconds compared with placebo after a dose of 200 milligrams of theanine and 160 milligrams of caffeine. Electrophysiological measures reveal increased P3B amplitude and reduced latency, meaning neural resources are allocated more quickly and efficiently. However, dose dependence matters. While moderate theanine alone improves calmness, higher doses of 200 milligrams or more without caffeine can slow reaction time. These findings translate directly into gym performance, which we'll discuss next. In the gym, calm focus can be a double-edged sword. On the positive side, a clear mind enhances mind-muscle connection and precision, allowing you to feel and control each rep. Reduced jitteriness keeps your hands steady on the bar and can help maintain proper technique. For most people, moderate doses between 50 and 200 milligrams won't blunt aggression, but will take the edge off nervous energy, making you more deliberate. But caution is warranted. Very high doses of theanine alone, over 250 milligrams, may dampen reaction speed or explosive drive. Understanding these nuances highlights the importance of dose and context, leading us to the next slide on dosing strategies. Like any supplement, L-theanine's effects depend on the dose. Less than 50 milligrams, about what you'd find in a cup of green tea, produces minimal cognitive effect. Between 50 and 100 milligrams, particularly when paired with 40 to 75 milligrams of caffeine, you get smooth energy and improved attention. Doses of 100 to 200 milligrams taken solo increase alpha waves and relaxation, but at the upper end may slow reaction times if not paired with caffeine. When combining the two, a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio of caffeine to theanine is common. For example, 100 milligrams of caffeine with 100 milligrams of theanine. Doses above 200 milligrams alone are best reserved for therapeutic contexts, not pre-workout use. With dosing covered, let's consider who stands to gain the most from L-theanine and who should be cautious. Not everyone will respond to L-theanine in the same way. People who are sensitive to caffeine and experience jitters can benefit greatly from theanine's smoothing effects. Sleep-deprived athletes or shift workers might find it sharpens reaction time when paired with caffeine. Those who need sustained, calm concentration like students or cognitive workers also stand to gain. It's useful for anyone taking high-stimulant pre-workouts because it helps smooth the crash. On the flip side, lifters who thrive on aggression and adrenaline may find theanine softens that edge too much. Individuals on blood pressure medication should be cautious due to possible interactions. And if you're seeking a pure stimulant rush, high theanine doses aren't for you. With benefits and cautions clear, let's tackle some common myths about this ingredient. There are several myths surrounding L-theanine. One misconception is that it makes you sleepy. In reality, it increases alpha waves without raising delta or theta waves, so it promotes relaxation without drowsiness. Another myth is that it cancels caffeine. In fact, the synergy between them enhances focus and accuracy while smoothing out blood pressure spikes. Some worry that calm focus kills gym aggression, but at appropriate doses it maintains intensity while reducing unwanted jitters. Finally, more isn't always better. Excessive theanine alone can slow reaction time. By dispelling these myths, we can focus on evidence-based usage. That leads us to a final summary of what matters most for your stack. Let's wrap up with the key lessons. L-theanine is a T-derived amino acid that crosses the blood-brain barrier and boosts dopamine, serotonin, and alpha brainwaves. Alone, a 200 milligram dose can relax you and lower stress, but very high solo doses may slow reaction time. Combined with caffeine, it improves speed, accuracy, and working memory while attenuating jitters and blood pressure rises. Optimal pre-workout doses range from 50 to 200 milligrams, typically in a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 caffeine to theanine ratio. Tailor your use based on sensitivity, time of day, and training goals. Calm focus can be a valuable tool, but don't overdo it. With this knowledge, you can decide if L-theanine deserves a place in your performance stack.